Well, it's been a busy week 11. I was able to do a couple of races in iRacing, but I also just had a lot of other life stuff going on and had some computer things happen that made my recordings not come out the way I wanted them to. So instead of doing 3 full races this week, I'm just doing the race of the week, which was at Circuit de Ledenon or Circuit de Ledenon, I think. And it was in the Formula V, and this was a classic from the back to the podium type race. Partly it was good skill on my part, and partly it was mistakes made by other people. Sometimes that's how you move ahead. So let's go have a look at it. Lights out. Let's go. All right, I qualified in fourth. I immediately, right off the line, there's some shuffling. And my main concern was just make it through the first lap. Make it through the whole race without any incident points if possible, but just make it through the race. Clean. I'm not here to crash and spend 4 minutes in the pit stop. So you can see the 2 cars behind me. Those are cars 5 and 6. They run a pretty tight race between themselves and take out a couple other people. I'm currently behind car number 3, Clark, and in the race just before this, Clark and I had bumped a little bit, just a racing incident, nothing untoward, but it let me know that Clark was not somebody that I wanted to try to sneak past. So, respecting that Clark in car number 3 ahead was going to not give away any places, I was cautious. And then around this turn, as you can see in the upper left, I let car number 4 go by. I was willing to let car 5 go by, but car 5 kind of stalled out on the turn, so I punched it and I was ahead, so I kept going. Down here, this one's tricky because slow down now, drop it into gear, somebody spins off, don't run into them, keep going. That's a hard one. That's a good turn. When you get it right, you can really save yourself a couple of tenths. And I don't always get it right. I err on the side of caution. But I'm flat out through there. I start to lift around this corner, drop it into third, and then try to cut this corner nice and tight so I come out as straight towards that distant tower as possible. And then drop it. Sometimes, oh, here's a turn, here's a crash. What are we doing? We go there, we get around it, but there's a bad rejoin behind us and quite a few people get jumbled into a mess. So here, the car number 3 just missed that turn, or has damage, I'm not sure, but they fell way off the time and let me go through, and now I'm holding first position, which is nice, especially when there's a growing gap behind you. Like right now I can see there's a 3.1 and 3.5 seconds are the nearest cars back. Fully expecting that these cars, they qualified faster than me. They are likely going to have more pace than myself. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, hit this turn, slow it down, do it safely, don't spin. Better to get through it slowly than to get through it and let the entire pack go by. Also, keep looking down at the relative box, which is on your screen. It's just to the left of the steering wheel. Keep looking down at the relative box and notice where the next car behind me is, how far behind me the next car is. And bear in mind, am I going to need to pull over and let them pass? Or are we going to keep this pace for several laps? Or, do I have some breathing room? And in this case, I have breathing room, which gives me like 2 competing ideas. One, drive as fast as I can. Make it like a qualifying lap and just get the hell away from everybody else. Just go as far as fast and create distance. That's one idea. The other idea is blend that with caution. Every track has turns that require little attention or turns that require a lot of attention. And when you're racing and you want to win, you maybe just roll the dice and throw it as hard as you can into those turns. But when you're racing and you just want to finish the race and you want to have a good time on the track and you want to train yourself to not panic and not be error-free, to be error-free, then you have to blend going as fast as you can to get away from the cars behind you with don't get reckless. Remember to rein it in when it comes to turns. Okay, so here somebody's coming out of the pits ahead of me. It's car number 1, and they've got pretty decent safety rating and iRating. So, they're not chumps. They know what they're doing. Except they spun out in that turn. Totally reasonable place to do it. They might have come out of the pits thinking, all right, what can I do? I'm going to catch up to the rest. And then you spin. But here, I drop it down into second on that turn. I'd love to do it in third, but I just don't seem to be able to do that. I'm in third here. Sometimes I'll pop it into fourth, or I would fourth now. Try to do this bit as fast as I can and then drop it down into third and just hit that accelerator just right. I could really lose 2/10 on that turn alone easily. I do it all the time. And then here, slow it down, and I drop it into second again because, just need that grip. I tend to slow down too much if I take that last turn in third. Anyway, so I'm punching it down here. I'm into fourth. I drop it into third a little early and try to coast and make sure I'm going to come out the other side, pointed in the right direction before I really lay on the accelerator. It's real easy to just go wide or to hit the throttle too soon and to start to spin. All right, turn 1, full acceleration. There's a nice gap behind me now. There's about 4 minutes left in a 12-minute race. So we're about 2/3 of the way through. Or, anyway, not fractions. And I can see Clark is behind me. And I think Clark and I have pretty similar pace, but I think Clark in general is probably faster than I am. But over the course of a race makes a few more errors than I do based on the earlier race we did and then what I'm seeing so far in this race. And I use that to remind myself, hey man, do your best, and if that person gets up next to you, maybe don't be hyper aggressive, maybe don't battle. If they make it all the way to getting next to me. There I went a little too deep into that turn, lost half a second, gave away half a second. But anyway, I remind myself that if somebody catches up to me from 4 or 5 seconds behind, then they're faster than me. Then they've earned the place. And I could, if it were the last lap, I might try defending against them, within the rules, just to blunt their progress so that I could end ahead of them. But if it's not the very last turn or two, then it's just foolish, and I'm gonna slow down somebody who deserves to be in front of me and risk crashing or whatever. And it would be my move. I'd be the jerk in that situation, and I don't want to be the jerk. So I got to remind myself that, because when you're racing and somebody's up next to you, which I'm not getting a lot of right now. Uh, but when you're racing and somebody gets up next to you, your instinct is just so ready to just try to cut that corner, try to go a little faster, um, pounce on them if they make if they handle a turn wrong. Um, so it's good to remind myself throughout the race of what good behavior is and what good racecraft is, and what it gets me is it gets me remaining on the track and finishing the race. And I regularly will offer up a position or two strategically, because if I try to fight it, I'll crash. But anyway, so you can see here that by now Clark has come within about 2.5 seconds of me. And I go pretty slow around that corner. We're almost done. We only got like a lap or two left, but part of it is that Clark has just manages better speed, but then also part of it is that in my caution, because I can't go super fast around all these corners. I just can't control the car very well. I find I have to slow it down, or I have to hit a lower gear. But I mean, look at this. I'm getting all of these turns right enough. And for this race, with these competitors, it's very rewarding. All right, so there's coming up here. I think there's a lap or two left. Clark is gaining on me. So, can I keep first place? Do I give it away? Do we both crash? Find out next week. No, I'm just kidding. Just keep watching. Alright, so Clark is now within striking distance. I mean, 2 seconds, but he was under 2 seconds a moment ago, and I'm going to take this turn slow because I have to. That's as fast as I can take it. So now we're close. Look at that. Clark is now able to get my draft, and I think this is for the finish line. Here we go. Dun 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 dun. Blue Heron for the win. Yay! Right. So that was really fun. That was my fourth first place finish ever. And I was really in control of my driving throughout that race. I drove the race as well as I could, and where I finished had a lot to do with the crashes other people made. So look at that. I got double greens. It's nice not losing any ratings. I finished in first after starting in fourth. My best lap time was not faster than everybody else's best lap time. I was not the fastest. I was just the one who didn't make any mistakes. I made it through that big crash early in the race without running into anybody, and then later that took out a few other cars that probably could have passed me. Get out of here. All right, race well and enjoy what you're doing.